Welcome to another video for PMP series. Today we will discuss 133 enablers of PMP exam. What are the enablers? Enablers enable something or make it possible. Enablers are the action required to complete tasks. According to PMI, the enablers are illustrative examples of the work associated with tasks. PMP exam has 133 enablers. There are three domains of PMP exam: people, process, and business environment. People domain has 14 tasks and 53 enablers. Process domain has 17 tasks and 61 enablers. Business environment domain has 4 tasks and 19 enablers. First, we will discuss 14 tasks and 53 enablers of people domain. People domain task 1, manage conflict, has 3 enablers. First, interrupt the source and stage of the conflict. Second, analyze the context for the conflict. Third, evaluate, recommend, reconcile the appropriate conflict resolution solution. People domain task 2, lead a team. This task has 7 enablers. First, set a clear vision and mission. Second, support diversity and inclusion like behavior types and thought process. Third, value servant leadership like relate the tenets of servant leadership to the team. Fourth, determine an appropriate leadership style like directive and collaborative. Fifth, inspire, motivate, and influence team members, stakeholders, for example, team contract, social contract, and reward system. Sixth, analyze team members and stakeholders' influence. Seventh, distinguish various options to lead various team members and stakeholders. Task 3, support team performance. This task has 4 enablers. First, appraise team members' performance against key performance indicators. Second, support and recognize team members' growth and development. Third, determine appropriate feedback approach. Fourth, verify performance improvements. People domain task 4, empower team members and stakeholders. This task has 4 enablers. First, organize around team strengths. Second, support team task accountability. Third, evaluate demonstration of task accountability. Fourth, determine and bestow levels of decision-making authority. People domain task 5, ensure team members, stakeholders are adequately trained. This task has 4 enablers. First, determine required competencies and elements of training. Second, determine training options based on training needs. Third, allocate resources for training. Fourth, measure training outcomes. People domain task 6, build a team. This task also has 4 enablers. First, appraise stakeholders' skills. Second, reduce project resources requirements. Third, continuously access and refresh team skills to meet project needs. Fourth, maintain team and knowledge transfer. People domain task 7, address and remove impediments, obstacles, and blockers for the team. This task also has 4 enablers. First, determine critical impediments, obstacles, and blockers for the team. Second, prioritize critical impediments, obstacles, and blockers for the team. Third, use network to implement solutions to remove impediments, obstacles, and blockers for the team. Fourth, reassesses continually to ensure impediments, obstacles, and blockers for the team are being addressed. People domain task 8, negotiate project agreements. This task has 5 enablers. First, analyze the bounds of negotiations for agreement. Second, assess, prioritize, and determine ultimate objectives. Third, verify objectives of the project agreement is met. Fourth, participate in agreement negotiations. Fifth, determine a negotiation strategy. People domain task 9, collaborate with stakeholders. This task has 3 enablers. First, evaluate engagement needs for stakeholders. Second, optimize alignment between stakeholder needs, expectations, and project objectives. Third, build trust and influence stakeholders to accomplish project objectives. People domain task 10, build shared understandings. This task has 4 enablers. First, break down situation to identify the root cause of a misunderstanding. Second, survey all necessary parties to reach consensus. Third, report outcome of parties' agreement. Fourth, investigate potential misunderstandings. People domain task 11, engage and support virtual teams. This task has 4 enablers. First, examine virtual team members' needs like environment, geography, culture, global, etc. Second, investigate alternatives like communication tools and collaboration for virtual team member agreement. Third, implement options for virtual team engagement. Fourth, continually evaluate effectiveness of virtual team members' engagement. People domain task 12, define team ground rules. This task has 3 enablers. First, communicate organizational principle with team and external shareholders. Second, establish an environment that fosters adherence to the ground rules. Third, manage and rectify ground rules violation. People domain task 13, mentor relevant stakeholders. This task has 2 enablers. Allocate the time to mentoring. Second, recognize and act on mentoring opportunities. People domain task 14, promote team performance through the application of emotional intelligence. This task has 2 enablers. Assess behavior through the use of personality indicators. Second, analyze personality indicators and adjust to the emotional needs of key project stakeholders. Next, we will discuss 17 tasks and 61 enablers of process domain. Process domain task 1. Execute the project with urgency required to deliver business value. This task has 3 enablers. Access opportunities to deliver value incrementally. Second, examine the business value throughout the project. Third, support the team to subdivide project tasks as necessary to find minimum viable product. Process domain task 2, manage communications. This task has 4 enablers. First, analyze communication needs of all stakeholders. Second, determine communication methods, channels, frequency, and levels of detail for all stakeholders. Third, communicate project information and updates effectively. Fourth, confirm communication is understood and feedback is received. Process domain task 3, assess and manage risks. This task has 2 enablers. First, determine risk management options. Second, iteratively assess and prioritize risks. Process domain task 4. Engage shareholders. This task has four enablers. First, analyze shareholders like power, interested, greed, influence, and impact. Second, categorize stakeholders. Third, engage stakeholders by category. Fourth, develop, execute, and validate a strategy for stakeholders' engagement. Process domain task 5. Plan and manage budget and resources. This task has four enablers. First, estimate budgetary needs based on the scope of the project and lesson learned from past projects. Second, anticipate future budget challenges. Third, monitor budget variations and work with governance process to adjust as necessary. Fourth, plan and manage resources. Process domain task 6. Plan and manage schedule. This task has six enablers. First, estimate project tasks like milestones, dependencies, and story points. Second, utilize benchmark and historical data. Third, prepare schedule based on methodology. Fourth, measure ongoing progress based on methodology. Fifth, modify schedule as needed based on methodology. Sixth, coordinate with other projects and other operations. Process domain task 7. Plan and manage quality of product deliverables. This task has three enablers. First, determine quality standard required for project deliverables. Second, recommend options for improvement based on quality gaps. Third, continually survey project deliverables quality. Process domain task 8. Plan and manage scope. This task has three enablers. First, determine and prioritize requirements. Second, break down scope like WBS and backlog. Third, monitor and validate scope. Process domain task 9. Integrate project planning activities. This task has five enablers. First, consolidate the project phase plans. Second, access consolidated project plans for dependencies, gaps, and contained business value. Third, analyze the data collected. Fourth, collect and analyze data to make informed project decisions. Fifth, determine critical information requirements. Process domain task 10. Manage project changes. This task has four enablers. First, anticipate and embrace the need for change like follow change management practices. Second, determine strategy to handle change. Third, execute change management strategy according to the methodology. Fourth, determine a change response to move the project forward. Process domain task 11. Plan and manage procurement. This task has five enablers. First, define resource requirements and needs. Second, communicate resource requirements. Third, manage suppliers contracts. Fourth, plan and manage procurement strategy. Fifth, develop a delivery solution. Process domain task 12. Manage project artifacts. This task has three enablers. First, determine the requirements what, when, where, who, etc. for managing the project artifacts. Second, validate the project information is kept up to date, for example, version control, and accessible to all stakeholders. Third, continually assess the effectiveness of the management of the project artifacts. Process domain task 13. Determine appropriate project methodology, methods, and practices. This task has four enablers. First, assess project needs, complexity, and magnitude. Second, recommend project execution strategy like contracting, finance. Third, recommend a project methodology approach, for example, predictive, agile, hybrid, etc. Fourth, use iterative incremental practices throughout the project life cycle like lesson learned, stakeholder engagement, and risks. Process domain task 14. Establish project governance structure. This task has two enablers. First, determine appropriate governance for a project. For example, replicate organizational governance. Second, define escalation path and thresholds. Process domain task 15. Manage project issues. This task has three enablers. First, recognize when a risk becomes an issue. Second, attack the issue with the optimal action to achieve project success. Third, collaborate with relevant stakeholders on the approach to resolve the issue. Process domain task 16. Ensure knowledge transfer for project continuity. This task has three enablers. First, discuss project responsibilities with team. Second, outline expectations for working environment. Third, confirm approach for knowledge transfer. Process domain task 17. Plan and manage project phase closure or transitions. This task has three enablers. First, determine criteria to successfully close the project or phase. Second, validate readiness for transition, for example, to operations team or next phase. Third, conclude activities to close out project or phase like final lessons learned, retrospective, procurement, financials, and resources. Next, we will discuss 4 tasks and 19 enablers of business environment domain. Business environment domain task 1. Plan and manage project compliance. This task has 7 enablers. First, confirm project compliance requirements, for example, security, health and safety, regulatory compliance. Second, classify compliance categories. Third, determine potential threats to compliance. Fourth, use methods to support compliance. Fifth, analyze the consequences of non-compliance. Sixth, determine necessary approach and action to address compliance needs like risk and legal. Seventh, measure the extent to which the project is in compliance. Business environment domain task 2. Evaluate and deliver project benefits and value. This task has 5 enablers. First, investigate that benefits are identified. Second, document agreement on ownership for outgoing benefit realization. Third, verify measurement system is in place to track benefits. Fourth, evaluate delivery options to demonstrate value. Fifth, appraise stakeholders of value gain progress. Business environment domain task 3. Evaluate and address external business environment changes for impact on scope. This task has 4 enablers. First, survey changes to external business environment like regulations, technology, geopolitical, and market. Second, assess and prioritize impact on project scope backlog based on change in external business environment. Third, recommend options for scope backlog changes, for example, schedule and cost changes. Fourth, continually review an external business environment for impact on project scope backlog. Business environment domain task 4. Support organizational change. This task has 3 enablers. First, assess organizational culture. Second, evaluate impact of organizational change to project and determine required actions. Third, evaluate impact of the project to the organization and determine required actions.